Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
Yay! Well, we are on, what are we on? Episode 17. 17. I'm so excited. It's moving right along. I can't believe we're already on episode 17. This is so fun. So I know. So today's discussion though, when we talked about kind of challenges a few weeks ago, I feel like a lot of people, they really connected with it. They understood it. I think it kind of helped people understand that they're not alone when it comes to struggles. So this week, we're actually going to talk about our biggest hurdle. Because if you're a new listener, Maggie and I have both lost just over 100 pounds. We both started right before the pandemic hit. We're both using WW. We use that as a means to lose our weight. The program, I am currently on maintenance. Maggie is still in weight loss mode. So it really, as I have our title written down, is what has been your biggest hurdle so far? Because I feel like we're never really off this journey. Even if you're intentionally or not intentionally, your entire life, your health, your wellness is always something that's going to be important. So we're going to kick this off today, but we do have a couple things. Remember, the merch store is open. The easiest way to get to our merch store is if you go to our Instagram, there's a link tree linked up in the bio, and it can take you to the merch store. We have shirts and all sorts of fun stuff. And then also, I want to say thank you. I don't think we say thank you very often for the ratings and reviews that you guys give us. We have a ton of ratings. I know. And that helps us. That helps us get seen more. It gets served to more people. So thank you to everyone who's done a review or a rating. We truly appreciate it, and we do see them. So thank you guys. And then also, today is Administrative Professionals Day.
Woo! Go you!
I know. I've been an administrative professional. My mom was for many, many years. And I truly believe that administrative professionals are the bread and butter of a lot of major businesses. And I don't think they get enough credit year round. So y'all are rock stars, and happy Administrative Professionals Day.
Yes, you are so professional and you deserve the day. Woo-woo!
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's our laughs and smiles. And now we're going to get into some challenges. So Maggie, looking back at your journey so far, so thinking for both of us, so that's been, 2021, and now 4 months into 2022. So what to date do you think has been your biggest hurdle?
And I was meditating over this topic today, and I feel I'm in the midst of my biggest hurdle. And I feel I've been in the midst of my biggest hurdle for almost a full year.
Wow.
Yes. And I think the hardest part for me on my journey has just been to continue and to stay consistent with what we have to do in order to see continued success on the scale and how we feel. I hit my 100-pound milestone in February of 2021. I lost a few more pounds after that, and then I've pretty much maintained steady from that point. And I've seen progress in other areas in the way that I can move, in my activity, in the way that I feel in clothes. And I can tell that I have changed in some aspects physically and, of course, emotionally. But I think just navigating the real world on program, it's just harder than it can seem. And, navigating going to Disney and going on weekend trips and going out to eat and just, and staying within budget week after week after week. Because I know for me, I see success on the scale when I track honestly, when I stay within my weekly budget consistently, right? And so my hurdle has been being intentional with my food choices so that I can stay consistent in my budget, so that I can see continued losses. Because I don't know if there's anyone out there listening who has lost a few pounds and then had a week where we weren't within our budget and we go up and then we go down and we go up and we're playing with the same couple of pounds, and it's like, It's like,
Yeah.
what you're doing, what you have to do to see a
Hmm.
difference, but sometimes it's just getting there, getting into the mental space. So I think that's my biggest hurdle. And I know
Well,
that I expect a lot of myself, and I feel because, and
mhm.
Rachel, you might feel similarly, we have a position as a part of WW as coaches, we have platforms on social media. I feel a certain pressure on myself to not only keep going, just living the healthy lifestyle, but also to
Mhm.
get to goal or to continue to lose. And it can be kind of stressful.
Well, and one of the things though that I've heard from members and from our Instagram followers is that reality though. Cause like you said, I mean, you see some people on social media and it just seems so effortless. So to
Hmm.
know that even coaches have these struggles and we have these days where we're like, holy cow, I just went up to and I was down to and I went up to. It's just that finding that balance. And you keep saying budget and points, and just in case anybody listening is
Yeah.
not WW, that is all WW verbiage. Our
Yeah.
food values have points, and it has an algorithm of how they have a point, which
Hmm.
is I love it. I think it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for us nutritionally.
Yes. Hmm.
Just throwing that out there in case somebody's like, "What is she talking about? Budget and
Yeah.
points? I don't know what that is."
I know, I forget, like, not everyone lives in our world of
I know, I
WW and
know.
points, but I mean, regardless of what system we follow, the food that we
Yeah.
intake is so important to not only
Hmm.
our health, but to weight loss management and weight loss and all of those things. So, yeah, food,
Well,
man.
I feel like no matter what program you're on, no matter what you're doing to find that healthy lifestyle, finding that balance, it's one, it's kind of hard to discover, and two, it's hard to maintain. Right? Because like you
Yeah.
said, some days we want to go to Disney. Some days there's like I've had and for those that don't know, Maggie and I are both coaches, like she kind of mentioned. I've had so many people say, well, we had, a holiday this weekend and then it's my birthday tomorrow and then I have things this weekend. So some seasons, right, may be busier than others when it comes to our outings and our goodies and finding that balance. Shout out to my sister, actually. She's been texting me the last few days and she was telling me, she didn't know if like an actual program was what she wanted to do, but she's like, I just have to find that balance. And I had told her a quote that I think you said a long time ago that was, you can have anything, just not everything every day. And
Hmm.
that was really helpful for her just to kind of think of, okay, I can find that balance. But just, I feel like having a game plan is what can be most beneficial. So what do you think has really helped you maintain, or at least that attempt of maintaining this for so long?
Maintaining my weight or maintaining my
Your
habits?
consistency, yeah, your habits
Oh, okay.
consistency.
Yeah, I think, well, you just have to keep showing up and doing your best and recognizing that your best might look different every single day.
Mm,
So, and there are just a few things that I've really had to make non-negotiable for me. So, tracking, at least 90% of my week is really important to me, if not 100%. I am a human, not a robot. So, sometimes I just don't feel like it, or I don't want to see the number, or I
yeah.
just forget, or whatever the case may be. But I at
Hmm.
least expect it to be the majority of my food choices, are going into my app and having that accountability. And then, activity has been a part of my life for so long that that's not even always the challenge of maintaining. Like I have been active for over 5 years and had a consistent regimen. So I think it's kind of waking up and reminding yourself of that identity, how you identify. And I just am so determined to be someone who identifies as a healthy person. And I think recognizing that for me, in order to be a healthy person, I have to have boundaries and guidelines and awareness of food. And
Hmm.
that is okay, and that I'm not alone. Sometimes, and we may have touched on this in other podcasts if y'all, have been kind of listening in and out, but I have some people around me in my life who don't have to manage their food, and that can force me to feel like, oh, I'm an outsider, or oh, this is hard, why do I have to do this when other people don't? But really, I'm so not alone, and that's why I love WW and our Instagram community and y'all listening out there, because I know that I'm in this with you, and
Hmm.
again, it's not going to look perfect every day, but I just got to remind myself, how am I going to take care of myself today and how am I going to show up and give it my 100%.
You
So,
know what that makes me think of when you said that? I don't even remember what episode it was, but
yeah,
when you were saying how you have that teenager, like, I don't
yeah.
wanna, why
I
do
think
I have
our
to?
last challenge, like podcast, I talked about
Yeah.
because it really does feel like a bratty teenager sometimes
Yeah.
because this is hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And we
Right?
wouldn't need programs. We wouldn't need podcasts like this because everybody would
Yeah.
just be doing it. It would just be within us. But it's challenging to show up for yourself every single day, especially when you're like an empathetic person. You put others
Mm-hmm.
before yourself, and you have responsibilities, jobs, kids, like friends, family, and you got to remind yourself you're just as important as they are. And
Mm-hmm.
if you don't take time for yourself and show up for your healthy habits, then it's going to be a lot harder to do anything for anybody else. So,
I was just talking to a member about that the other day about how much, because one of the beautiful things about being with WW and we have a virtual community is that the majority of these people I've never met. Well, actually, I can probably honestly say almost everybody I've never met.
mm-hmm.
But one of these members who I've been with through her entire journey, just this huge shift in her mindset of, I have to take care of me, like to best take care of those around me. And that's, I feel like sometimes we get to this mindset of, oh, that's very selfish of me to want to take a quiet day or to, be like, hey, you guys, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to go for a walk or go to the gym, or I'm going to spend, the couple extra dollars because, I want to get this fruit or this, low fat, low cal, whatever the case may be, that may be a little bit more expensive than the mac and cheese or something. But I love that. I love, because it can be a struggle every single day. I feel like mine was more of like a one point in time. My biggest struggle, because that obviously, yes, I have teenagers. I have a husband who's not on program. I have friends. I work at a radio station during the day where almost every day there's donuts in the break room. And I work at a rock station, guys, and sometimes the breweries come through and there's beer in the break room at 8 a.m. in the morning. I promise you, like the most random things in there sometimes. So yeah, life happens, things happen, things come up. But mine was, so like I said, we started in January 2020, July of 2020. I had challenged myself. I was like, okay, I want to get 30 minutes of activity every single day. Like I made a little calendar and I was going to mark it off, like what I did, how many minutes. With WW, we earn blue dots. So it's like a healthy eating zone. And I got a blue dot every single day. So I was tracking every day. I was really having a very well balanced day when it came to my food. I was drinking all my water and I lost nothing. I didn't gain anything, but I didn't lose anything for 30 days. And I had gotten to a point where I was very disappointed, but in the past, I can tell you right now, in the past, my mindset would have been, see, why am I even bothering? This isn't working.
Right.
And I would have wanted to quit immediately, thinking, why am I putting this effort? This is dumb.
Yeah, I feel like nothing's worse than when you're doing the best that you can and you are being so intentional and the scale doesn't cooperate.
Yeah.
Like it's different when you're not really, like what I was mentioning, being consistent. You get on the scale and you're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, I was negative 100 points or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Didn't track the blah, 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 blah. But, to know that you're giving it your all and then you don't see the results, and that can be so discouraging.
Absolutely. And I remember turning to, because within WW, we actually, for those that are not on WW, they have pretty much their own social media. And it's a pretty wonderful place, actually, because everyone there is kind of in the same boat and the same mindset. And I honestly turned to that to look for, I just wanted to be uplifted, I guess. I really was in such the dumps and I knew I needed to turn something around, and something caught my eye. I don't remember what it was, but I remember telling myself, oh my gosh, you did 30 minutes of activity 30 days in a row. You got a blue dot 30 days in a row. I was so proud of this month that I had just had, regardless that the scale didn't move. And I had to really take that step back and start celebrating other things. And I'm really glad I did, because I've been saying this lately too. when you get to maintenance, like if you're really, really focused on the number on the scale, it's awesome, right? Love to see that number go down. But when that is your sole purpose of being happy for your wellness journey, when that stops, even intentionally, because I got to goal, I didn't need to lose any more. So after that, you're like, what am I celebrating now? You know what I mean? And there's all of these other things to celebrate. So I really, really got into that mindset of I'm celebrating everything. And like you were saying, some weeks are better than others. So sometimes I don't track all week and I don't know what I'm eating, but I have my water every day and I will celebrate that. Or maybe I had blue dots every day, but I didn't get all my water in. I'm going to celebrate my blue dots. Like I'm always going to find something to celebrate. And I had to change that mindset that there is always something to celebrate. And if you feel, I don't like when people say, oh, I had a bad day or a bad week. Not necessarily. You had life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had things happen. And it's funny because usually when they had these, I'm doing air quotes for those that can't see. When they say, oh, I had a bad day, I'm like, well, explain to me, what does a bad day look like for you? And guys, sometimes it's like, oh, well, I was crazy stressed out at work. And then my kids were having a rough one and we had to go here and there. And I ended up having pizza. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of people would have reacted that exact same way. That was a lot of external cues and things and emotions. And that's 100% relatable and understandable. But even just recognizing what those cues were, that's a win. That's a celebration. So, it really, really made a big impact on my journey though, like to the point where even when I have, you know, those days or those weekends where I'm not trekking and I'm not drinking my water, I don't kick myself. And I've never been that way. I used to always be like, you can't do this. Like, this isn't, I convinced myself, I don't know if I said this before. I had even convinced myself way back in the day that maybe you're just not meant to be that person. You're just not meant to be in a size 10 or lower. You're not meant to be this weight, because I kept kicking myself every time. So I don't fear that hurdle will come again, because it that first one changed me. It changed my outlook.
You built your self-efficacy in that moment that you could keep going even in the face of trials. And I think we can use that lesson even for like the hurdle that I'm going through too. It's like, okay, well, maybe I didn't stay in my points budget today, but I did track, or I did drink some water, or I did move my body. And of course, you know, obviously if my goal is to stay within my budget, it could be easy to get frustrated with myself, but I have to look at the bigger picture, because focusing on the positive will help build that momentum to keep going. And inevitably I will succeed if I just keep going and keep showing up. And the same thing goes for what you were saying, right? It's like you could have easily just let July 2021 be the moment you throw in the towel and just quit, but you didn't. And so now you've proven to yourself that I can get through frustrating moments and still keep showing up. And so then each frustrating moment just gets a little bit easier to manage and to work through. And so I think it's great. I mean, at the end of the day, y'all, positivity just is more beneficial than beating yourself up or being negative.
I had somebody just ask me yesterday. She said, oh my gosh, you lost over 100 pounds. What's your secret? And I told her, honestly, just keep going.
Yeah.
Because like I said, all those other things that I had to start celebrating was, you know, all of these good nutrients I'm putting in my body, all this activity that I'm getting. I'm strengthening my bones. I'm strengthening my heart. I'm strengthening, you know, my hair and nails. I mean, the most random things, but I am healing my body regardless if the scale is showing it or not. I'm doing good things for my body. And I want to maintain that because like you said, this consistency, this long run, like we're in it for the long haul. I mean, and me and actually listener, Kim, shout out Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
I know we were talking today about, you know, as we get older, things that we have to start thinking about, because I'm turning 40 this year. And it's like, all right, so what are some things that, you know, doctors recommend to start paying attention to? I don't want to be catching up on all that. I want to get ahead of the game. And that's been a big part of my why. For those of you who are not in WW, I do still strongly recommend you find a why. Why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? It could be a whole paragraph of things. It could just be my health. It could be my kids. I want to be there for my kids, but really define that. I feel like that took me a little while to really define, but it's nice to lean back on and to look back on sometimes, right? Do you ever pull your why back out sometimes, Maggie?
Oh yeah, I feel like that's one of the only things that can keep me going is reminding myself of the purpose, right? Because and
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe if there's anyone out there with a why that's attached to a specific number on the scale or a specific size, I don't know if that's a strong enough why. I feel like it really has to be something that resonates with you, a bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't matter if I weigh 170 or if I weigh 145 or anywhere in between. I don't want diabetes. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want sleep apnea. I don't want heart failure. I don't want some of these things that have run in my family and have like wreaked havoc on joy and all of these things. I don't want that. So it doesn't even matter if this what rate the scale is moving. I know if I'm taking care of myself and feeding myself with nutritionally dense foods most often and moving my body, like I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
And the I think shifting my mindset to I want to be someone who is a healthy person and weight loss will be a byproduct of that
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle, but not the sole driving force
Yeah.
behind why I do the things that I do. So
Absolutely.
it's really a mindset shift, I think, with any hurdle that
Mm-hmm.
anyone can go through. It's reframing it, focusing on what is positive about it, reconnecting with the why, and just reminders. We have like so many different episodes we could link in the notes, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like non-scale victory episode. We have
Yeah.
if you didn't have the scale, we have our mantra episode. All of those things, like in conjunction with one another, help me to get
Yeah.
through the days that I don't feel like it or those frustrating moments where we don't
Yeah.
feel like our hard work has been recognized. So,
But I mean, I think we can both honestly say, though, for each of us, we kept showing up,
yeah, I
kept
mean,
showing
like
up, kept showing
we
up.
still are, and it's really
Yeah.
just non negotiable at this point. Like, I
Yeah.
refuse to go back to where I was when
Me
I first
too.
started. I refuse.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I know what life is like now,
Yeah.
being healthy, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going back. Mm-mm.
I think it was either my birthday last year or something, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go a little wild and have all of these things. I was so sick. I was like,
Mm,
ew, I remember this feeling. I don't like it.
yeah.
I don't like waking up in the middle of the night, like feeling hot and gross and upset because of all the things that I ate. I was like, no,
Hmm.
I don't like this. I don't miss this at all.
Yeah, because you've really changed your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle, and we all say it's a lifestyle, not a diet. Well,
Yeah.
then really start treating it like one. I mean,
Yeah.
walk the walk, talk the talk. If it's not a diet, then you're not focusing on a deadline. You're not focusing on a number. You're not focusing on some kind of victory. You're just focusing on making it your
Yeah.
life. And so I've really had to like make myself snap out of it. Like, why are you stressing about a certain number? Why are you stressing about
Mm-hmm.
having a loss every single week? This is your lifestyle. And I will say, so we've just to recap, we've mentioned, reframing it to the positive is something that Rachel did, and leading into community. Um, and of course, reconnecting with your why. And I think sometimes just shaking something up,
Yeah.
trying something new to kind of rezest for me. This week I just changed my 0 point foods list.
Really
Yeah,
fun.
I got really honest with myself. And for those that aren't on WW, those are foods that are healthy, nutritionally dense, things that we don't have to weigh, measure, track if we don't choose.
Yeah.
And so there were a lot of foods on my list that I really liked. The more 0 point foods you have, the less daily points you have to work with. And I was realizing, like, I'm really not eating these things every single day or
Mm-hmm.
even most days. Like, I'd have potatoes a couple of times a week or I'd have beans like once a week. And there were
Yeah.
just a couple of things on there. So I just really got honest. I was like, what foods do you actually eat every day? Of these lists. For me, it was fruits, veggies, chicken, and eggs. Everything else, like I had sometimes and I liked sometimes,
Yeah.
but I wasn't having it all the time. So I cut them from my list, and now I have more points to work with on things that I'm actually eating. Now I don't get discouraged when I have a 25-point day when I had 17 points. Now I have 25 points. I'm like, woohoo, like
Swinging
I
through the
just,
drive-through. Go
yeah,
back to last episode.
yeah,
Taco
exactly.
Bell.
I know. But it's like, I mean, really, you have to work with your tendencies. You can't like
Yeah.
keep forcing yourself into a box. So I was like, okay, if this is
Yes.
where I'm at right now, like just give yourself more points, sis. Like it's not that deep. And so I just got honest, and now I already feel so much better. And we don't know
Yes.
how long that'll last. I got to ride the wave while I'm feeling good about it. But sometimes it's just making a subtle change that can just
Be who
really.
you are. Meet yourself where you are. Yeah.
It's so important. Like, why, because
Yes.
like I said, I love all those nutritionally dense foods, but I don't
Hmm?
love them enough to eat them every single day.
Yeah.
And, that's when I had to get honest with myself. So I feel really good about that.
I
But
like it.
I don't know. I think sometimes a hurdle will be a quick moment, sometimes it'll be a season, but at the end of the day, this is life. So we're all going
Hmm.
to go through a multitude of things. And
And you are
yeah,
not failing. There's
no.
never a fail. I love
Mhm.
that the acronym FAIL means first attempt in learning. We can
Yeah.
learn from everything. And I feel like I learn more from the
Mhm.
struggles and the hurdles than I do from all the good stuff. So
Yeah.
step
And I
back,
don't know.
learn.
I don't know about you, Rachel, but I feel like both you and I have really invested in the mindset of WW, the mindset of
Hmm.
like well-rounded wellness.
Yeah.
I almost had to like when we were like, what's your biggest hurdle? I almost had to think like really hard because we're both just so good at flipping the switch and
Hmm?
looking at the positive that I was like, what? I know I'm human, so I've had challenges, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because I just so good at being like, okay, no, like this is reality. Like you're doing this, and you're really taking care of yourself. So I think that all takes practice and time
Yeah,
and
it does.
consistency. That's like the
Yes.
buzzword of life, but being consistent in that
Hmm.
positivity. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully somebody listening hears this and understands hurdles are normal. Hurdles
Mm.
will happen to everyone. I've said this before, and I'll probably bring it up in the next episode too. But there is no Jedi Masters of Wellness, you guys. We are always learning. There is no one who has got it just all wrapped up in a pretty little bow, right? So give yourself grace. Have a good one. And we have a quote for them, don't we, Maggie?
Yes, we do
What
have
is
a
our
quote. This is
quote?
from one of our listeners, a fellow Maggie, Maggie E.
Yeah.
Shout out. Um,
Yeah.
and it's perfect for our conversation today. So it is, if hating yourself worked, it would have worked by now. We got to do something different.
I
We can't be hating
know,
ourselves. So I really love
right?
that.
Me too. Because that's so accurate, right?
Mhm.
Don't put yourself down because, right, it would have worked by now, guys. And if it's not working, let's flip that script and try something new. Like
Yes.
being positive and celebrating all the good things.
Yes, being your best cheerleader. So,
Yes.
Rachel, do you want to get us started on star goal and recommendation for the week?
Okay, my star goal, I might have mentioned previously, and I know I've mentioned in workshops. I swear it's this time of year. I get very, very stressed out this time of year, and I don't know why. It's like taxes and schedule, and like, kids' schedules and all that. So, on our WW app, actually, every week when you check in, it can recommend goals for you. And it recommended one day, and I was like, I'm going to keep doing this one. And it
Mm,
was so perfect for me. And it just said, every day when I start work, I'm going to take 5 deep breaths. And
mm,
just taking that little pause has been so wonderful. I'm going to keep it going. I want to keep it going to where it gets to that point that it's just kind of second nature for me, so where I can just take that pause, beginning of my day, no matter what it looks like, and just take those breaths and really find my center before I start my day. So I feel like I've been working on finding my center for a while. Remember, I talked about meditation and just
meditation,
taking
yeah.
that pause. And so I really, really like that one. So actually, my recommendation this week is kind of the same thing for the listeners. I want you guys to give yourself grace. If you've ever been in a WW workshop, we say that all the time. But, right, there is no fail, you guys. Everyone is going to see a hurdle and a challenge. Give yourself grace, whatever that looks like. It's
Mhm,
okay. We can keep moving forward, but give
mhm.
yourself that grace. That is my recommendation for this week. So what about you, Maggie? What's your
Nice.
star goal?
My star goal, just to follow up on a couple of episodes that y'all might have listened to, I have been trying to become a breakfast at home girl, which I will report back that it
Yes.
is going well. I've had the majority of my breakfasts at home. I'm kind of down to 1 to 2 breakfasts out a week, which I'm feeling good about. And then I also had a goal of fitting in a fast food meal intentionally, and I did that with Culver's yesterday, and I still got my Blue
Mm.
Dot, and I'm going to put
Yes.
my order and hack on Instagram actually when we're done recording today.
I'll put the link
So,
to your Instagram too in the show notes for it's easier because we do a lot of the stuff on our Instagram too, the dropping into happiness
yeah,
pod,
that's where
and
I'll
then
put it.
and I'll do a link to yours and mine as well. So if anybody wants to follow us individually, and then we also have the podcast one as well.
Yeah, and then
Yay.
my my start goal for this week is to step on my yoga mat one day this week, because I keep telling myself, like, I had been a yoga girl. I'll probably talk about that next episode. I had
Yeah.
been a yoga girl. I kind of fell out of the routine, and I keep telling myself, like, you need to do yoga. You know, it feels good. It's really great for runners.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just made the goals too lofty, so I'm just going to get on the mat
I like that.
one time this week. And then my recommendation is totally random, other than I can tie it into the fact that it's great to shake up your food sometimes and get
Yeah.
things exciting. So I have a bread company to recommend. It's called Royo Bread Company. They have the two that I've tried is the artisan bread. So if you're on WW,
Ooh,
it's 1 point per slice. This
really?
is the best 1 point bread I've ever tried. It feels like
Ooh,
real bread. And for
like
anyone
real
out there
bread.
that's, yeah, you know what I mean. 30 calories per slice, 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams of net carbs, 11 grams of fiber.
Wow.
I know. And then this same company, the Royo bread, if you're not watching on, I have props here on the YouTube. So this is their New York bagel and sesame. And I know they also have an everything bagel that I need to order.
Ooh,
These are 3 points, and it's like a real, if y'all
that
can't
is
see,
a
it's
good
like a
size
real
bagel.
bagel. It's not a bagel thin. It's not like the little tiny
What?
guy. It's like the real deal. And I've been making breakfast sandwiches. You know, I'm a breakfast homegirl, so
Yeah.
I've been making breakfast sandwiches with these, and they're 70 calories per bagel. So
Ooh,
I
and
actually have a
if you want to keep it low with bagels, doing the Laughing Cow wedges instead of cream cheese, that can really be a good alternative.
I know what I'm gonna have a snack later
Yeah.
today. Thank you, Rachel. And I have a code with them, so I'll send that to Rachel so y'all
Yeah.
can, because it's a little bit more of an investment than like the bread that you might find in your local grocery store. But for me, for the point value and that it actually tastes legit, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're vegan too, by the way, or at least the
Ooh,
bagels are. The bagels are vegan. I don't know about
nice.
the
For
yeah.
those
So
vegetarian vegans out there, yeah.
yeah, it's a
Nice,
great
nice,
thing.
nice.
And kosher. I'm just like reading all the labels. I'm like, this is
She's
exciting.
like, let's
So
see all the things.
yeah, so I have a code with them to save y'all 10%. So I'll send that
Cool.
over to Rachel so she can put it in the show notes,
Yeah.
and maybe we can even put it on the Instagram too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice too. And like
Yeah.
something that you make with it or whatever, and we can link it in there as well.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, okay, guys, I hope somebody out there who is going through a hurdle heard this today and gives them a little glimmer of hope, right? That there's light at the end of the tunnel, that not all is lost, and we can learn from every hurdle and challenge. So thanks for dropping by today, guys.
Yeah, I hope y'all have a magical day.
Yay.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.